think they were bold. They were bold to just do this 4-minute jam at the end of the song. And it's not like that, you know, burning up the tables and like that with just these solos with a shredding and all like that. I mean, you don't need to. Um, but to keep it interesting for 4 minutes, and it's just 4 minutes of just guitar work, you got to keep it interesting, and they did.
It's showtime, folks.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Into the Music. My name is Greg, and I am feeling really great after a really lousy October. Not feeling well almost the whole entire month, but now it's November, and I don't know. November's supposed to get really cold, it's and kind of more rainy and then snowy and all like that. So, what's there to look forward to? Um, I don't know. You know what? Some good music. How's that? That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps my boat afloating. So let's see if Mark, aka Harry Breath, aka Slug Bucket. I think I know him more as Harry Breath. Hey Harry Breath, how you doing? Let's see what let's see what Harry Breath has to give me. So it's Riding on the Equator. That's the name of the song, and it's a group called Felt. And I got so excited I just stumbled upon my words. Felt. I've done a couple of songs from them already. Our first one was Primitive Painters when I had my partner on board, and he actually liked the song. I remember, if I'm not mistaken. But did I react to it? I remember it was a really positive sort of, yeah, this is really cool music. And then the second one was just a little while ago, Sunlight Bathed the Golden Glow. That's one that I did on my own. I kind of listened to the first 30 seconds, said, this is really good stuff from a band that I need to get into more. And when I did the whole reaction, man, what a good sound. These guys really know how to play guitar. If there was melody, um, it wasn't a jam out session. I mean, I can get into all kinds of music and all like that, burn it up on the guitar, I'm gonna love it. But they didn't need to do it on that song. Just a lot of good melody, smartly played guitars, vocals were interesting, and so yeah. So now I got Mark Harry Breath requested that I listen to again, Riding on the Equator by Felt. So I'm gonna stop a yapping and let's get clapping. I love the guitar parts. I love the play between both guitar parts there. I really love that. I'm not going to pull it back. It's a long song, but I really like that.
Yourself with the waiter. Could tell by look in his face he thought you were mine. You went on riding on the equator. I'd say that waiter, he sure was glad.
Little Dylan-esque tone to his vocals.
You sold your story to the newspaper, and went round the world in a caravan. You made lots of people very unhappy.
something so rich about this music. It's got the two guitar parts. It's got the nice little sort of percussion, the drums just keeping it moving along. You got the organ in the background just filling in. It's just so textured. Really liking this. It's gonna be interesting though for another 6 minutes to see if there's gonna be any change up.
You got something special, it's a secret. You're in transit in the night. You left that girl in Panama City. I said it's the best woman you ever had. You called me up from where you were living. Said you had some more stories you wanted to tell. About how you spent your life in some kind of prison. I said those true stories, the hardest to sell.
Drums. I mean, is they gonna jam out for another 2 minutes or so? I mean, if they do, I guess that's good. I mean, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this so much. Just lovely guitar work, man. Solos aren't going doing anything crazy. Um, they don't have to. Nah, they're fitting within the song. Just like a laid back, chill vibe song, and just put in just all these varied little guitar solo things. It's so beautiful. Yeah, I wish I could pull back. I mean, it's just again, it's a long song. All right, let's see what the next 2 minutes brings. Well done. Well done. A 4 minute jam. And I loved it. I really did. All right, let me get my thoughts together, pull some information on the other side. See you there. I'm so glad I said on the other side about how smartly play guitars normally on felt songs, especially on that song "Sunlight Bathed the Golden." Primitive Paintings too. I mean, I just again just a really smart sound. Something they were just I don't know, just a musician's band, and there's just something again. This song, um, they were really, I think they were bold. You know, they were bold to just do this 4 minute jam at the end of the song. And it's not like that, you know, burning up the tables and like that with just these solos with a shredding and all like that. I mean, you don't need to. Um, but to keep it interesting for 4 minutes, and it's just 4 minutes of just guitar work, you got to keep it interesting. And they did. They didn't break this. That's the thing, though. You know, same chord structure, just repeated over and over and over and over. And it really seemed like their solos, you know, the notes that they were playing were kind of almost going up the same sort of peaks and valleys and up and down and up and down. But I don't know, each one was just different. Each one was just unique enough that just made it interesting. You wanted to hear it again. To be honest, I don't know if I needed to hear it for a whole full 4 minutes. They probably could have cut it to like, half of that and probably would have made the song more effective for me if I'm really being honest. But that said, I appreciate what they did there. I think they were feeling it. They were, this could have been too. You ever wonder? I've always wondered, right, on these great songs that have these fade outs, and you're hearing, the end and the guitars are taking the song out, and you're loving the solos, you're loving the guitar work, you wish it can go longer, and then it starts fading out. You're like, no. But I always wondered, like, as the fade outs happening for us, what's happening on the other end? When they recorded it, like were they just jamming along? Like after the recording people, they just silenced everything. In the meantime, the band's just probably still wailing away and wailing away. And they're like, "All right, we're done, we're done." And like, no, who cares? We're still jamming. I just wonder if like this was one of those where they just want to see how far they could take it, and maybe with the thought that they were going to fade out at some point, and they decided, nah, maybe it was a call at the end of the day, with the producer and the band, the whole thing, and they said, what are you going to do? What are we going to do? And you know what? We like it so much, let's just leave it in. And they left it in. I don't know. What do you think? Harry Breath, what do you think? Put it in the comments. You think I'm over the mark there, um, or something where they always intended to do this 4 minute jam? Um, Let me know. But yeah, I mean, the vocals were interesting. The vocals had kind of almost like a talk sing, probably more sing than talk. But when he was doing that sort of speak thing, he kind of like stretched his vocals out a bit, and made it sound almost like Dylan, Dylan-esque. So that was really interesting. Um, and like I said, I mean, I just loved right up until the solo, just this kind of play between like these guitar parts that were going on. They were just sort of just toying around with each other, and while the organ, the drums, the bass, they were just filling in. It was just beautifully rich textured music. It's such a lovely song. And then the jam out. So I pulled out some information, and I would call it a jam. They definitely jammed it out. So I'm not going to pull up information about the band. I've done that a couple times already, but I will pull up the album that this is on, Poem of the River. I love that title. I love it. These guys were very creative in their songs. I mean, Riding on the Equator is kind of cool, but like Sunlight Bathed the Golden Glow, come on. That's just that song title itself is poetic. But and then talk about poetic, right? Poem of the River. It's their seventh album, and it was in 1987. Wow, they go back that long. Yeah, I'm remembering. They're around for a while, right? From the 70s straight through the 80s. Were they 90s? Yeah, remind me if they were. Look at this. It doesn't actually have any information about the album. I mean, except for like personnel and tracks and the whole thing. Uh, yeah, this one was the fifth track. Wow, 6 songs. This is the longest one. It's a short album. Let's see. So Lawrence was vocals, electric guitar, and electric guitar on track 5, which is this one, and that's Lawrence. And Martin Duffy, Hammond organ, Marco Thomas, bass guitar, electric guitar, track 2, Gary Ainge, drums. So, and then you have additional personnel, Tony Willie, electric guitar on tracks 3 and 5. So Tony also played on this song with, yeah, because I mean, there was no way. I mean, unless he was just dubbing in, but otherwise, and it didn't sound like that. It sounded like really kind of, the guitars were happening at the moment that the recording was being done. Uh, so Tony is joining Lawrence in the guitars. Yeah, and I thought there were a few more. So Neil Scott is also playing electric guitar and also on this track. That's cool. And Mayo Thompson production. Bravo job, Mayo, for what you did here on this song. If this album sounds anything like the song, it's a great album. So let me get into the lyrics here. And it goes like this. The way you threw yourself at the waiter, could tell by the look on his face. He thought you were mad. You went off riding on the equator. I tell you that waiter sure was glad you sold your story to the newspaper and went round the world in a caravan. You made lots of people very unhappy and turned yourself into a wanted man. Then you said that the world was something to behold, not to be brought or to be sold. It was something that you could hold. You've got something special. It's a secret. You're in transit, a nomad. You left that girl in Panama City. I said it was the best woman you ever had. You called me up from where you were living, said you had some more stories you wanted to tell about how you always spent your life in some kind of prison. I said those true stories are the hardest to sell. I, man, smart lyrics. I just don't know. I'm just not smart enough to know what he's saying here. What's he talking about? Hairy breath. Give me a clue. Give me more than a clue. Tell me what this is about. Or do you know? Huh? What do you know? Well, I'll tell you what you do know. You know a great song, and you gave me a great song. I mean, let's put it this way. It's a very good song. First listen, I liked it a lot. This is one of those that it's just a rich song. It's just something that's just gonna evolve for me and just be something I go to a lot. I could predict that right now. Um, so thank you for that. That's a gift. And with that said, Harry Breath, you have a good rest of the day. And to everyone out there, hit the like button if you like this, sub if you haven't sub with this already. And we'll see all of you in the next episode of Into the Music.